in our report. We offered your staff also the opportunity to review the FTC
he's
letter.
A businessman.
Yeah, no kidding. Where did he get?
He's very rich.
Yeah, no kidding. How stupid
he
are
has
people?
rocket ships going up into space.
Dude is he's the richest guy on earth. How do you not know where the guy got the funds? How do you? Yeah, exactly. They're doing everything they can to try and get him to reveal his sources, and he's not doing it. Let's continue.
You have not come over to review those letters.
This guy that you're hearing right now is Jim Jordan. He's the head of this committee.
Third, the idea that I believe both of these individuals who are getting ready to testify, I believe they're both Democrats. The idea that two journalists who happen to be
Did you not give that offer at 8 o'clock last night?
I'm talking now. Your time was ended.
Neither of us are in time.
I don't think they're here to help us politically. I think they're here to tell us the truth. And oh, by the way, the first FTC letter to Twitter after the first set of Twitter files, the very first question was, who are the journalists you're talking to? And you guys don't care. You don't care.
You don't want the 2011
people to see.
consent decree?
You don't want the American people to see what happened, the full video, transparency. You don't want that, and you don't want two journalists who have been named personally by the Biden administration, FTC, in a letter.
The Biden administration.
And you're saying they're here to help us?
FTC.
They're here to tell their story. And frankly, I think
the Biden
they're
administration oversees the FTC. These are our members of Congress.
So silly.
Yeah.
For some reason, I'm picturing these people as little children just fighting.
Here's Democrat Debbie Wasserman Schultz accusing of Matt Taibbi of dropping this information because he's desperate for attention. Take a listen to this.
Okay.
Please do not interrupt me. Elon Musk spoon-fed you his cherry-picked information, which you must have suspected promotes a slanted viewpoint, or at the very least generates another right-wing conspiracy theory. You violated your own standard, and you appear to have benefited from it. Before the release of the emails in August of last year, you had 661,000 Twitter followers. After the Twitter files, your followers doubled, and now it's 3 times what it was last August. I imagine your Substack readership, which is a subscription, increased significantly because of the work that you did for Elon Musk. Now, I'm not asking you to put a dollar figure on it, but it's quite obvious that you've profited from the Twitter files. You hit the jackpot on that Vegas slot.
Debbie Wasserman Schultz, that's a good question.
Do you have like 1,000?
Somebody over on the chat, do us a favor and let us know that. Let us know which how many followers that Debbie Wasserman Schultz has versus how many followers that Matt Taibbi has. I bet you that he's got more than Debbie Wasserman Schultz.
I mean, I'm involved in all of this. I was wondering if they were going to read my name out in these hearings.
Tell the story, Steffi, of what happened to you. Okay.
So apparently, Matt Taibbi did reveal another list of people who were targeted, and it was about a politician, Eric Brakey, that I was campaigning for online, and apparently his opponent had reported me for being an out-of-state troll.
So essentially what happened is a sitting United States senator put your name on a list to give to big tech to tell them to censor you, to remove you, because you were saying that you supported his opponent.
Yeah, and I think it was because of a retweet that I did when I looked at the reason why.
Yeah.
I didn't even
It was just like you retweeted,
anything.
Eric Brakey. So Angus King, a senator, is so terrified of you, Steffi. Imagine being scared of you. I mean,
I was quite powerful during your campaign. I would want to see if I'm on a list about you.
Honestly. That's not going to come out though, because that'll never see the light of day if that's the case.
Yeah, honestly. I mean, I was harassing quite a few people on Twitter. I was, putting everybody's name, at so and so underneath all of their posts.
Can you see why I married her, ladies and gents? Yes. Welcome to the Wake Up America show. I'm Austin Peterson. If you're just tuning in, we're talking. Matt Taibbi has 1.8 million followers, and Debbie Wasserman Schultz has 20,000 followers.
I mean, that's still more than I have, but
20,000 is like nothing, though. I mean, and compared to 1.8 million, so your jealousy assertion, I think, stands. JP over there on the live stream dropped that for us. Thank you, JP. We appreciate you very much.
Thank you. Yeah, it's just so silly. It's laughable, honestly. It's like in the whole scheme of life. What is this?
Yeah, for sure. People are really loving this story. I've got another clip for you. Let's head back over to the Twitter files and take a look.
Quickly, again, we yesterday discovered this email talking about the suppression of people telling their own stories of true vaccine side effects. So these are people who are telling about their own experiences, things that that happen to them that are true, and they're being suppressed because what anti-disinformation does is the opposite of what the press does. They are aiming for what the narrative is, and they already know in advance what they're looking for, whereas a journalist goes into a story, does not know what the truth is. We often find that the thing we expect to find turns out to be completely different.
So Matt Taibbi says that they discovered an email talking about the suppression of people telling stories about actual side effects of the vaccine that people have,
Oh,
and how they were big tech was suppressing alternative views to that, so that it
so
would.
they're almost suppressing conspiracy theorists
Well,
too.
they're creating conspiracy theorists, right?
Yeah.
And it here's the thing. That's not a conspiracy theory.
Mhm.
That's a conspiracy. Like
Mhm.
you're actually attempting to cover up actual truth
Right.
about what is happening so that
Right.
people can make the best decisions. Listen, like you and I mean, or at least I will say, I'm not an anti-vaxxer, but people have an absolute right to know what the side effects
Oh,
of a vaccine, of
absolutely.
any kind of medical intervention would
Mhm.
be,
Mhm.
especially when they turn around and they made it mandatory, right?
Right.
The problem is that we get divided into these camps of vaxxer versus anti-vaxxer and
Mhm.
stuff. And it's kind of like, I remember during the pandemic, it was like, well, if you're not for a mandatory vaccine, they said that you're an anti-vaxxer,
Right.
right? And I was just like,
What
okay,
between? Isn't there anything in the middle there?
there is
Can't you
something in
just
the
be a
middle.
skeptic in general?
You could say, well, my position was always that the vaccine is very likely useful for people in a very limited age group of
Mhm.
demographics, right? For senior citizens or people like that,
Yeah.
or people who have compromised immune systems like asthma or something like that,
Mhm.
which COVID might harm them more. That was my best understanding of it. But always the thing that was the most useful thing was what? Exercise, diet.
Right.
Right. And that was the thing that people didn't want to hear. They didn't want to hear that the number one thing that they could do to avoid COVID-19 was not a vaccine. It was get your ass off of the
Do you
couch,
take your
get healthy.
vitamins?
That's what we
Mhm.
did. That was the best way that we went out there and fought it. And we
Yep.
went out and we got healthy and we started eating healthy and losing weight and
Right.
doing all that stuff. Of course, I've backslid a little bit. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you so much for watching us over on our channels, multiple channels. Sometimes we do go down over on YouTube. And when that happens, when we have internet issues, remember we are at rumble.com. And if you're not following us over on Rumble, you definitely should. We've had a really exciting week over
A
there.
lot of people are watching over there.
Yeah, we've been
Mhm.
getting more and more followers. I think they've been putting us up on the front page. So if you're not
Mhm.
following us over on Rumble, definitely do so. Big shout out. Let's give a big shout out to our Rumble people this morning because I know they do like to watch. Yeah, big applause. Thanks so much to all of our friends, of course. But we do like people to watch on YouTube because that's where we make our money.
And that's where the most fun chatting is,
It
in
is.
my opinion.
Yes, exactly. We want to grow our YouTube channel because, for sure YouTube right now has got the mojo dojo.
I did used to watch your Freedom Report on YouTube
Hmm.
whenever you'd have your live streams, but I would also watch you on Facebook, and I
Yes.
would like to chat in there too. Both, I think Facebook and YouTube would be my favorite.
Right. All right. So we're running behind now. I don't know if let's see how many more clips I've got. Claps I've got of. Oh man, I've got some good stuff. I want to make sure that I play some of these other Taibbi clips. Let's get through them and then we can go to our next subject. Okay. Oh, this is Taibbi talking about the weaponization of social media by the FBI. I might have to refresh this. Hold on. Here we go.
Movement. That, in fact, is a key point of the Twitter files, that it's neither a left nor right issue. Following the trail of communications between Twitter and the federal government across tens of thousands of emails led to a series of revelations. Mr. Chairman, we summarized and submitted them to the committee in the form of a new Twitter files thread, which was also released to the public this morning. We learned Twitter, Facebook, Google, and other companies developed a formal system for taking in moderation requests from every corner of government, from the FBI, the DHS, the HHS, DOD, the Global Engagement Center at State, even the CIA. For every government agency scanning Twitter, there were perhaps 20 quasi-private entities doing the same thing, including Stanford's Election Integrity Partnership, NewsGuard, the Global Disinformation Index, and many others, many taxpayer-funded. A focus of this fast-growing network, as Mike noted, is making lists of people whose opinions, beliefs, associations, or sympathies are deemed misinformation, disinformation, or malinformation. That last term is just a euphemism for true but inconvenient. Undeniably, the making of such lists is a form of digital McCarthyism. Ordinary Americans are not just being reported to Twitter for de-amplification or deplatforming, but to firms like PayPal, digital advertisers like Xandr, and crowdfunding sites like GoFundMe.
Okay, so explain what he's saying here. Okay. You get what he's saying?
Basically, the government is intervening in all areas of social
So
media
they
to
just
watch
created,
you.
yeah, well, as we knew, right? But essentially, they not only it's not that they're watching
Mhm.
us, Stephanie. They're actively suppressing our points of view.
Mhm.
This is a clear violation of the First Amendment. When they are when the government steps in, here's the thing: we've been having this conversation in a bubble. Oh, it's private company that can do what they want and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
Yes,
If they're spying on us, okay, we're giving them
we're giving
permission
them
to spy
information.
on us,
We're
right?
not giving permission to
Mhm.
the government
Right.
to spy on us, and not just spy on us, but to actively suppress our points of view.
Right.
The U.S. Senator from Maine, Angus King, asked big tech to censor you, Stephanie.
Right, because I was trying to further Eric Brakey's campaign,
Right. That is
which
a
was
violation.
outside of what they wanted.
That is a violation of the First Amendment. If they had
Yeah.
done it, that would have been a violation of the First Amendment.
Yes.
But it seems as if they did do it to other people in many other ways.
Right. Yeah. Like I was never banned.
Mhm.
I could still have all my posts. I don't think they took my posts down.
No, they did not. But if they had, God, we would have sued the absolute shit out of them.
I
Yeah, it would have been
know.
awesome.
See, to me, I feel like I'm kind of desensitized to this, and I really shouldn't be.
No.
I've always thought the government was watching me ever since I used to download music on Napster, and I thought they'd come knocking on my door
Back
at
in the
1 a.m. and
back
I'd be found
Yes,
out.
back in the day during the Ron Paul campaign, like I was absolutely convinced that at any minute that the
Yes.
feds were going to kick down my door,
Oh, yes.
take all of my gold, all of my guns, and they were going to throw me in jail for being a libertarian, so Ron Paul supporter.
Absolutely.
But the
So it's like
reason
I've always known they're watching me.
But here's the reason I thought that was because, we're from Missouri, is there was this MIAC report, Missouri Information Action Report, where there's these fusion centers with all of the local and like federal agencies,
Yeah.
and they listed Ron Paul and Bob Barr supporters as
Oh.
potential domestic terrorists.
Oh my gosh, that was
Yes.
you.
Yeah, that was back in 2008. I had just gotten done working for volunteering for Ron Paul's campaign.
Uh-huh.
And then I went to work for Bob Barr
Yeah.
in 2008, the libertarian
Oh
candidate.
boy.
And
You're
then
probably the only name on that list.
I'm definitely on I'm definitely on the list, if there is a list.
Every time I go to the airport, I always fear that I'm on the terrorist list because they always say if there's a certain letter in front of your ticket,
Mhm.
then that means that you're on the special
Right.
list for the TSA and
Yeah.
you get special screening. And I'm always like, am I on it?
Yeah, for sure. So this is an interesting little side note on this one where they're talking about Hillary's leaked emails
Yes.
from back in 2016.
The emails say.
I'll talk about that in just a
Okay.
second. Take a listen to this.
Mr. Schellenbeck, do you believe that the Russians engaged in a hack and release campaign with respect to the damaging information they released regarding the Clinton campaign?
To the best of my awareness, that is what happened.
Okay,
Yes.
fair enough. Thank you.
That's not the same thing.
The reason
influencing.
I understand.
Also, that material was true.
Yeah.
Look.
He's smiling there. Okay, that material was true. Okay, so pause. What are we talking about here? So we're talking about in 2016 that Russian officials, they say, hacked and disseminated information from the Democratic National Convention. So this was, a lot of people forgot about this because a lot has happened since 2016.
I know Russian collusion. Everybody talks about that. Trump talks about that.
Russian collusion was supposed to be that they were trying to prove that Trump actually conspired with the Russians
Right.
to get that information and to get it out.
Yes.
That is not true.
Okay.
Okay. The Russians hacked the DNC and leaked Hillary's emails and got it out there. I think Julian Assange was actually the intermediary that they used for that. So
he is the one who got them to do it.
Yes, for sure. Well, Julian Assange didn't get them to do it. They did it, and then they gave it to him, and then he leaked it. Right, and that's why they're trying to kill Julian Assange. So here's the thing: what's funny about this with Taby, and he's laughing, is that the Russians hacked the DNC, they released that information, and then the emails that came out, Matt Taby says, were true. It was real information.
Right.
It wasn't as if they had spread disinformation. Right, as it wasn't as if what came out with Hillary's emails were false.
Right.
Now, what people are not going to want to hear, and what people do not like to hear, and which I talked about at the time, and which it bears a conversation What came out in Hillary's emails, oh my God, people are
what was she
they're gonna
doing?
be so mad at me for saying this. Listen, don't shoot the messenger, okay? Listen, I understand that what I'm about to tell you right now, you're not gonna want to hear. You're not gonna believe me, okay? And you know what? You're gonna find every excuse in the world for why what I'm saying is not true. But go back and read Hillary's emails in her speeches to Goldman Sachs that were these private speeches.
Mm-hmm.
The things that were probably scandalous, which you could easily believe, are that she thinks that we have to hide the truth from people in order to pass our agenda. We do have to withhold our agenda so that the American people don't, if they hear what we're trying to do,
Right.
then they won't like it.
Right. Okay.
But what was revealed was that Hillary is actually more for free markets than most people would probably like to believe. Yes. Yes.
Embarrassing.
Well, it's
To
not
have
just
that revealed about you.
no, it's good. It's good. It shows that Hillary Clinton actually never really left much of her Goldwater roots. She was a Goldwater girl when she was growing up. Barry Goldwater?
Barry Goldwater. Tell me who he is.
He was the 1964 presidential candidate that was beaten by destroyed by, was it John F. Kennedy, I think, in 19 No, not Kennedy. It was Lyndon Johnson who was beaten by Lyndon Johnson.
So Barry Goldwater, he's for free markets.
Barry Goldwater was like Mr. Republican. He was like the libertarian Republican of libertarian Republicans.
Was she a Republican back in the day?
Well, she must have been when she was a little young girl.
okay.
She was a Goldwater girl.
Okay.
So most people would probably call Hillary Clinton a neoliberal. And the funny thing is about neoliberals is that they actually have a lot in common with libertarians. Yes,
We might actually like her agenda.
well, here's the thing. Yeah, actually, as a matter of fact, she has an agenda that you and I agree with: international free trade. You and I actually have more in common with Hillary Clinton on economics than we have with Donald Trump.
So then why didn't we vote for Hillary Clinton?
That's a great question.
I just remember being afraid that we were going to go to war with Russia.
People aren't going to like to hear this. They're not going to like to hear this.
Really, I remember my decision very clearly. I was like, if I vote for Hillary, I know we're going to war with Russia.
Yes.
That's my fear for some reason.
Yeah, for sure. So Hillary was too young to vote for Goldwater, so you probably couldn't vote for her, but
She was just a fan.
she was just a supporter, right? Yeah. But so Hillary Clinton came out in the speeches with Goldman Sachs, and don't believe me, go back and read them, right? Because we talked about how she believed in international free trade and all this kind of stuff, and it's kind of like, I know you're making those faces, and I'm telling you right now that like she's more of a libertarian on economics than Trump is.
She's like a libertarian in hiding, and she's almost ashamed.
I'm talking about economics, right? So she's not a libertarian with us on like probably guns, right? So she wants to take our guns for sure.
Bill Clinton's guns.
I have not done Bill Clinton's guns yet because I haven't been able to independently verify any of the actual firearms that he's owned. I've only been able to verify that Bill Clinton had a .22 rifle when he was a young man.
I wonder if Hillary has guns.
Probably. Well, they're surrounded by guns. Everybody's taking care of them all the time.
That pantsuit, she could probably fit a lot of different things in there.
Well, for sure. When she's not, teeter-tottering over. So the thing about the Goldman Sachs speeches that were revealed was that she is actually more of the, people say negative things about neoliberalism, but I mean, like, if you scratch a neoliberal like on economics, you're essentially talking about a libertarian.
So define neoliberalism.
All right. So everybody has a different definition for it these days, but I mean, if we're going to really actually say what is a neoliberal, let me just pull up the dictionary definition of it. All right.
It's like a liberal without actually being a liberal.
Yeah, it's neoliberalism is used to market-oriented reform policies, such as eliminating price controls. Great. Right? Good. Deregulating capital markets. Okay. Great. Good. Lowering trade barriers. Right? And reducing, especially through privatization and austerity, state influence in the economy.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So if you're saying Hillary Clinton's a neoliberal, you're essentially saying that she's an economic libertarian.
And she's a liberal in terms of social issues.
You might
gay
say
marriage.
So.
She's probably pro-abortion, though.
Yeah, so there's where you and I would diverge with her, but
a lot of libertarians would also disagree with us on that.
Of course, right, but they're not real libertarians.
Are we neo-libertarian? Is there such a thing?
Probably, yeah. You and I might be something like that, right? We're a new branch of libertarians: pro-life, pro-gun, pro-market. Right, pro-freedom, pro-constitution. I mean, we're not like traditional libertarians. Like traditional libertarians, at least in the modern sense, more like, pro-choice and,
Right.
maybe anti-constitution, more pro-anarchy and things like that.
Mm.
You and I really are kind of like our own little separate breed of monster. There's the, in the sense that, we have neoliberal views in regards to the economy, whereas Donald Trump and his followers, they're anti-liberal.
Yeah.
When I say anti-liberal, I mean anti-freedom when it comes to the economy, right?
Yeah.
So the
This
only
is all about tariffs, right?
right. He's for price controls.
Yeah.
He's for regulating capital markets. He's for increasing trade barriers. He wants to, he's not necessarily, some privatization, no austerity,
not
because
good.
he spent like a drunken sailor, just like they all
Mhm.
do. So the question is, if we're asking economically, you and I are closer to Hillary Clinton. Or let's say that Hillary Clinton is closer to us. How about
Wow.
that?
I mean, people used to
But
compare me to Chelsea Clinton. Apparently, I look like her.
you have a resemblance.
Mouth.
You're like, yes. If Chelsea Clinton was hot,
Here.
yeah,
She straightened her hair a little bit.
yeah, and got her
a
teeth.
straight
She's
perm or
also got
something.
janky teeth.
Yeah, she
Yeah,
does.
she does. But yes, if somebody said that to me once, and I almost punched him in the face. But I'll say that
What? That I look like Chelsea?
yes. But I'll say that you are. If Chelsea Clinton was hot, so we'll say that on economics that libertarian that Hillary Clinton is closer to us.
This is
But
how you can be non-biased. You just can appreciate certain parts of certain people.
you have to be biased, and you have to pick a side, and you have to hate the other team, and you have to constantly call them out, and you have to always be warring against somebody because
This
they
is how
of
we
the
bring
letter after
people
their
together.
name.
I should send Hillary an email and be like, I approve of your views on the free market.
Yeah, for sure,
Yeah.
for sure. Now, if you're hearing this stuff today and it's hitting your cognitive dissonance right now, and you're kind of like, "Gong."
You're like, should I even be listening to this right now? Is
For
this
sure.
libertarian enough?
Yeah, is this libertarian enough? He's
Yeah.
not a real libertarian, they will say.
He's actually a Democrat, apparently.
I'm not stupid enough to be like a mainstream libertarian. You got to be really damn dumb these days in order to
Yeah.
be like a mainstream libertarian. Let's continue.
I think it takes so long to figure out what a real libertarian is that
Mhm.
by the time you actually figure it out, you realize you're not a real libertarian.
Yeah, for sure. If that means that, I have to endorse giving heroin to 5-year-olds, then I guess I'm not, right?
The right
Yeah. Andy
example.
Opperman, who we're going to have breakfast with today. What's up, Andy? How you doing, bud? We're looking forward to having breakfast with you today. Yeah, we get to meet Andy in person for the first time. We're really excited to meet you. He says, AP, I think you need to narrow that down to international economics. Possibly, could be, but I don't want to get too much in the weeds here on this one because honestly, we've blown past it. And it's time we're going to have to skip the sexy lunch lady story. Yeah. So I will...
Should we just summarize it?
No, let's try and get to it a little bit later. But before we do, I actually wanted to talk to you about our friends over at Lear Capital. Yeah, because listen, I get freaked out sometimes when I see what's happening in the stock market because I don't know if you saw this the other day, but like we haven't been as tuned into the markets, but
Right.
like the Fed was like telling about how they're going to start raising rates again. They're going to start raising interest rates again.
Really? Like for houses, for example?
Yeah, houses, for everything, credit. It's going to cost more to borrow money.
Oh,
Okay. Right. And so the stock market is just going,
Stocks went up again.
yeah,
So we're gonna go whoop
well,
again.
so here's the thing. We don't know what's going to happen in the future. And I really hate making predictions. But so
Saying that we're gonna crash.
yeah, well, they say that, but I don't know. And I'm not going to pretend like I know. So here's the thing. I don't know what's going to happen in the future. So what do we do if we don't know what's going to happen?
Right.
We sock something a little bit away just in case the worst should happen, right? And one of the best things we can do is to do what you've already started to do, Stephanie. In order to accumulate, you must speculate. You must speculate to accumulate. And
When I thought the economy was gonna crash years ago, that's when I invested in gold.
yeah,
Silver.
and it's time for you to call my friends at Lear Capital today. When the show's over, you're going to do a solid for yourself, and you're going to get some solid gold and silver. You can get it in coins, you can get it in bars. You can invest a portion of your retirement into gold and silver.
That would be nice.
Here's what you are going to do. You're going to write this number down. Go grab a pen real quick. I got my pen right here. Everybody have your pen ready when we're doing the show. So
That would really
write
give me
things
peace
down.
of mind. If I invested in gold and silver, because then when the stock market crashes, you hear all these people losing most
Yes.
of their savings.
Yes, I want you, because I can only give you a surface level sort of economic understanding in this show, and because I don't want to put you back to sleep, it is a wake-up show. I want you to call my friends at Lear Capital today, and I want you to write this number down. Here it is. Are you ready? 1-800 easy enough.
1-800
885
885
2175.
2175.
1-800-885
1-800-885
2175.
2175.
885 2175. I can hear them writing it down right now.
Okay.
Right, and you're going to call my friends over at Lear Capital today and ask them about the free gold packet, about information about investing in gold and silver.
Right.
It's time to start thinking about your future now. The best time to invest in gold and silver was 10 years ago. The second best time, today.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
I really think that we're coming back to where we were at back in, 2008, 2009, that recession.
For sure. There's another good question somebody had in the live stream, and Ed talking about ending the Fed, is that Hillary Clinton probably, that's what separates us from her, is that she doesn't want to end the Federal Reserve System, and we do.
Right.
That would be a big difference between us and
That
Hillary
is
Clinton.
true.
There's why we're a libertarian there. Anyways, call my friends over at Lear Capital or visit their website, learaustin.com. You can sign up for a free information
Got a
packet.
free packet there too.
Yeah, just go to learaustin.com, LEARAUSTIN, write that down there. Today's the day you want to invest in gold and silver for your financial future. You can even sink a portion of your retirement into actual physical metals without any tax consequences.
Because we're talking about different saving methods right now that are more stable.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think that is the best option that I've found thus far.
For sure. Pucho over there says, you can't talk ish about Hillary Clinton when her daughter is in your podcast. That's just rude. Very funny, Pucho. Very funny.
Right here, Chelsea Clinton. Here
Pucho.
live on the Wake Up America show.
Pucho the Puto, more like. Thanks so much for tuning into the Wake Up America show. If you're just tuning in, you're saying, who the hell are these people? I'm Austin Peterson, and this is my lovely wife, Chelsea Clinton.
Chelsea Clinton.
Chelsea Clinton, yes.
Thanks for having me. I'm the first Democrat on your show, aren't I?
For sure. You are the first Democrat and first daughter of a president. That is
I'll tell my mom you say hi.
Yes.
I'll tell Hillary.
Yeah, for sure. If you're wondering who we are, then we are a husband and wife team, and it's Family Friday, which means that we have family members on the show. And and today we're going to be talking now about Colin Kaepernick.
Yes. Ooh.
This one
triggered.
This one triggered me and got us a little bit divided last night.
I
when we were
know. I
talking
wanted to
this.
start debating with you, but you were
But I was
trying to
like-
relax.
Yeah, I was trying to relax last night. I was like, I did not want to hear it at 9:00 when we're trying to watch Seinfeld, so it's kind of like, so I said, I wanted to have this debate on the show because you and I have a bit of a difference of opinion of Colin Kaepernick and his comments here. Colin Kaepernick is accusing his white adoptive parents of, quote, a problematic upbringing and perpetuating racism. He says that he struggled growing up in a, quote, problematic household. He says, I know my parents loved me, but there were still very problematic things that I went through. It was important to show that, no, this can happen in your own home, and how we move forward collectively while addressing the racism that is being perpetuated. So it's a graphic novel that he's releasing where he's talking about his journey from his, high school to his athletic career.
Mhm.
His parents tried to steer him in a direction they thought was best, which apparently led to a bunch of fights between them and their adopted son.
Right.
So one of the disagreements was a fight about his hairstyle.
Yeah. So he wanted, what is it, cornrows or corn rolls?
It's cornrows,
Cornrows.
like rows.
So he wanted cornrows
Mhm.
for his hair, and his mom was like, "What is this corn thing?" And then she's like, "You look like a thug."
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, he felt bad and ashamed, but really, he's black.
Mhm.
Okay, sure, his parents are white, but he's black, so you can't ignore his real culture that he comes from.
Right. He says that he wanted to embrace his blackness by wearing cornrows, and his mother pushed back. And so she says he's getting what roles, his mother decided to say in the book. Right.
This really made him feel embarrassed.
Well, here's what she
ashamed.
said. She said, allegedly, she says, "Oh, your hair's not professional. Oh, you look like a little thug."
Ah.
Okay.
So it's like she's criticizing her own son for trying to fit in. It's hard to fit in.
It's their job. Okay, it's not about fitting in. You know what I mean? Like, I understand that it feels important to kids at the time, but fitting in is not important. Okay, it's not important to fit in. Ultimately,
Identity is very important.
okay. Here's the thing: you're trying to discover your identity. You're going to try different things when you're a kid and all this stuff. They're trying to protect him from the same fate that a lot of black young men fall to.
That is true. And it's coming from a place of love.
You damn right it's coming from a place of love.
Mhm.
How are you going to have these parents go out and say, "Oh, they're your adopted parents." They come out and they're doing everything that they can. They're feeding you, putting a roof over your head. What an asshole. I say. What a piece of absolute garbage to speak like that publicly about his adopted parents. I don't give a shit if that is how you actually feel. How dare you say that about them publicly and air your dirty laundry? Would you do that about your family? Would you air your dirty laundry of your family like that?
No, I wouldn't.
No.
I think it's very much a private matter.
Yeah.
I think if he went to therapy and realized that he has these inner feelings, he should have a private conversation with his family about
Yeah,
it.
let's talk. Okay, here's the thing: perpetuating racism. Let's talk about perpetuating racism. How about his actual parents? Do you think his actual parents, biological parents, are perpetuating racism?
Well, the stereotype
Depending, yeah, the stereotype, right?
of possibly
right.
not being able to provide for
right.
themselves.
Yeah,
Sure.
there you go. There's a
Mhm.
stereotype for you right there. There's perpetuating
Not being
racism.
reliable.
Yeah.
Sure. It's like there's all these adjectives you could probably describe his parents as that are stereotypical.
I'd really be curious to hear if in his novel,
Mhm.
Colin Kaepernick comes out and accuses his biological parents of perpetuating racism by dumping him off of the adoption agency
And giving him to a white family.
and giving him to a white
Right.
family. Yeah, yeah.
What if he grew up in a black family that was able to provide for him? I wonder if his
Yeah.
experience would have been different.
They abandoned him. Yeah, I wonder if Colin Kaepernick would have gotten as far as he was in life if he didn't have parents that were telling him, "Hey, maybe you need to dress and look a little bit more professional." Right? Maybe you need to straighten up and act right. Maybe here's the thing. His life would probably be very different if his biological parents had actually been with him. Maybe now here's the thing. Maybe it could have been better. I'm not Miss Cleo. I can't predict the future, just like I can't predict the
A
stock
better
market.
sense of identity and actually fit
Who gives
into a group.
shit about your stinking identity?
It's
Your
so important.
No, it's not. No, it is not. Your identity is not necessarily what's important. What is important is what you do. It's not where you come from. It's what you do with your life. That is what matters.
When
all
you're
right?
at school,
Everybody comes from a different background. Everybody comes from a different source. Everybody starts at a different place. It's not where you start. It's not about your identity. It's about what you do with the circumstances that you're given. I'm sorry. What do you think? I'd love to hear from you on
here's
this.
the thing, though. The facts are the facts. When you're at school, the white kids usually go with the white kids. The black kids usually go with the black
It's
kids.
like that in prison too.
Yeah.
It's like that in
So
jail.
for him, he's a black man who comes from a white family.
Most of our schools are like jails.
Who should he hang out with, right? His parents probably were pushing him towards the white children, but he identified more.
We don't know that. We don't know that that's what they were doing.
He chose football in particular because there's more black players than baseball.
Yeah, Bert Crash over in the live stream says, "This is completely ridiculous. He's a sniveling, entitled, self-absorbed adult child. These people brought him into their home with love and wanted the best for him. This is how they repaid it." Yeah, exactly. I feel the exact same way. It's not.
He should not have openly spoken about them in that way. That is very disrespectful.
I remember how people were talking trash about Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt when they went out to Africa and adopted all these kids. These kids would have lived lives of misery, of squalor. Probably half of their children would be dead by now, right? Or they'd been married off as child brides to some, Islamic cleric. They would have. Now they live lives of luxury.
Sure, they're probably made fun of by their peers.
Who gives a shit?
And that affects their self-esteem, which affects their success.
You're gonna make fun of me because I'm the child of Angelina and Brad Pitt. Oh no!
You're just disregarding the mental health issues that these types of things cause in terms of self-esteem.
It's not. Here's the thing: these children are too soft nowadays. They are too soft. You know what? You know what the problem is? These kids have too much self-esteem. They're granted way too much in terms of self-esteem. You know what? Self-esteem is a chick thing. Okay, self-esteem is for women. All right,
I don't think so.
Men do not have time to worry about self-esteem. Okay?
You know, men.
Feminine trait, self-esteem.
You know why men
don't
have
need it.
self-esteem issues? Because they're narcissists.
Too much
That's why they have
self-esteem.
their self-esteem issues.
Here's the problem. Too much self-esteem is the problem. It reminds me a little bit of this clip from The Simpsons when they get rid of all the boys in school and class so that the girls can learn math. And listen to this.
That's funny.
Yeah. Hold on.
Yeah.
I'm going to pull this clip up while we're doing this. But they go so that the girls can learn math on their own. And Lisa's really excited because she gets an opportunity to learn. But that's not actually what happens. Hold on. Yes, here we go. I've got the clip. All right, this is fun. All right, so this is girls who are talking about, oh, this is the perfect clip. I'm totally going to get demonetized for this, when I play this clip. So FYI, if you wouldn't mind dropping a super chat.
We've already probably been demonetized talking about the government.
Well, that they won't get you for.
Talking about lunch ladies with children.
We haven't gotten there yet even. So here's the thing. I've got the clip from The Simpsons. This is what Lisa Simpson, I'll just play a tiny bit of this clip. Hold on. Here we go. All right. I've got it queued up. Here we go. I'm going to get demonetized for this. So drop a super chat just to kind of make up for it. If you wouldn't mind, I'd be super grateful just to help us. So we don't go broke playing this one stupid clip. All right, here we go.
Forever. Now that the boys and their atmosphere of intimidation are gone, we can finally breathe. Breathe, ladies. Now let's buckle down and do some math.
Yes!
How do numbers make you feel? What does a plus sign smell like? Is the number 7 odd or just different?
Are we going to do any actual math problems?
Problems? That's how men see math, something to be attacked, to be figured out.
But isn't it? I mean, confidence building can't replace real learning.
Boom! Thank you, Lisa. We appreciate that. Confidence building can't replace real learning.
So are you saying men don't have confidence issues?
I'm saying that even if they do have confidence issues, probably a lot of that is inflicted on them culturally. But I'll tell you that self-esteem, like this, it's just too much self-esteem. Probably people need to be taken down a few notches. You were talking about narcissism. We probably build people up a little bit too much. We probably tell them they're a little bit too pretty. We probably pad their ass a little bit too much with diapers.
They become narcissists because they feel so bad about themselves.
Yeah.
That's the reason why they're a narcissist.
Well, maybe they should feel bad about themselves.
The
Colin Kaepernick should feel bad for himself. He is a piece of trash, and he should feel bad for himself. And he shouldn't have the kind of self-esteem that causes him to write graphic novels and insinuate that his parents who adopted him and who put a roof over his head are racist. So he's got a little bit too much self-esteem.
I think the way that he went about it is not the right way or the best way. I think he should have had a private conversation with his parents and dealt with this just with them instead of the public. However, it does seem like he's an attention seeker, probably trying to make some more money. So that is an issue.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
So,
but in terms of the issues he faced growing up, I mean, your sister, she's Latina, right? Grew up in a white family.
Right.
She still identifies with the Latina community as far as I'm concerned.
Sure. Partially, but she's here's the thing. The problem is with the halvesies is that it's white when you want to be right, and
she is half white, half Latina.
And
so it's like she's
Colin
not full.
Kaepernick's the same thing. What about Barack Obama? Is he black?
Did he have both black parents?
No.
Both of his parents were black, or one parent was white?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Now Colin Kaepernick was one of his biological parents white. I wonder.
Colin Kaepernick is half white. So
so he did have a white parent.
Yeah. So here's the problem when you talk about identity and why identity is important and why I'm telling you it's not important. Because when you make identity important, then it allows people like Barack Obama to play up their blackness when in reality they're just as much white as he's just as white as he is black. Okay. Colin Kaepernick is mixed race, right?
Speaking, right.
Yeah,
if their parents, one was white, one was black.
No, wouldn't I love to be able to go and check on the form, for the apforlibertyshop.com website? Wouldn't I just love to be able to go and check on the form? Part white, part not part white, Native American.
All right, your sister's part Native American.
Speaking of Native American, if you take a look over at to my left, I guess, on the right of the screen.
Perpetuating racism.
We are perpetuating racism today. Yes, here we are. Cool. Yes, we are with our brand new shirt over at apforlibertyshop.com.
I didn't make it.
It was mine. I like to do things
too sensitive.
I like to poke fun at things like this because this is identity politics, if you will. But I've got it pulled up on the screen. The Caucasians. Here we have a Native American man. And he's rooting for his favorite sports team, as you can see over here. Caucasians. Yes. So the fighting Caucasians, if you will. So, or we'll call them the Washington Chads. If you will.
Make one for all of the different.
Well, they've already done that, and they're the sports teams, like the Cleveland Indians, for example.
Yes.
So we thought that our listeners would really appreciate this one. So why don't you head over to apforlibertyshop.com and check that out?
I would like to wear that.
Maybe Colin Kaepernick would. You know what? Maybe he would actually get hired by this team and not suck at sports like he has on all the other ones. So why don't you do me a favor? We're going to go to a commercial break. When we get back, we have got a lot more to talk about on the show. we've got so much great content. We've been skipping it all.
I know.
Jeez. Okay, we're going to talk about the lunch lady who sent the sexy texts.
Yes.
We'll hit Joe Rogan talking about his new club. And we'll also be talking about the habits of highly motivated people.
Oh boy. Okay, it's 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
An hour.
Yeah,
Okay,
the show is flying by. Yes.
Just no debating. I just can't get too intense here.
Yes. So listen to me now. Listen to me now. You're going to go to apforlibertyshop.com during the commercial.
Or learaustin.com. Either one.
Let me finish. You're going to go to apforlibertyshop.com and you're going to put this Caucasian's shirt in the basket, right? Puts it in the basket or else it gets the hose again. Go get yourself a Caucasian shirt now. FYI, oh, we've got a big announcement to make.
We do?
Free shipping.
Oh my gosh, yes.
We finally did. It took forever. I was having a hell of a time yesterday, but I did it. We now offer free shipping to all customers in the United States. Congratulations.
You have two options. One, would you rather pay $24 plus $2 shipping and handling, or would you rather pay $26 and free shipping?
Stephanie, you're not helping. Go to AP. Stephanie's not helping today. Boo.
That's
I get it. I get it. Let me do the commercial break so I can chastise my wife. Go to apforlibertyshop.com, apforlibertyshop.com. Put the Fighting Caucasians shirt in your basket and get it. It's free shipping from now until forever. We'll be back.
I like
Wake
free
Up
shipping.
America Show at wakeupAmericaShow.com.
It gets me.
I like shooting things, but whenever I can't shoot something, I like to cut things. My life isn't all about shooting and stabbing and cutting, though. Sometimes I have to do actual work, but when I work, I still like to have fun. And there's nothing less fun than trying to cut with a crappy knife. Thankfully, from the ancient sect of Christian knights, who also loved cutting and stabbing, comes a new implement that has received my personal blessing, the Templar knife. Like the ancient sword of Excalibur, you don't choose a Templar knife, it chooses you. You just decide what kind you want on the website first, however, and then order it online, and then it chooses you. The Templar knife comes in a variety of shapes. As a man of culture and taste, I have decided I will never use a terrible knife again. And thanks to the inspiration provided by this excellent product, I have decided to launch a new crusade against anyone using less than superior knives. Join me, brothers and sisters, by visiting uppercuttactical.com/pages/Templar-knives. That's a lot of slashes. For that, you'll need a Templar knife. For 10% off, use code AP for Liberty and join me in a quest for glory, for liberty, for Christendom, for the Templar knife. Get yours today. Fire. Hello, this is Barack Obama, and let me tell you why Austin Peterson stinks, and you should never pay attention to anything that he has to say. First of all, he's a libertarian, and we all know libertarians are idiots. They don't realize how important government is to everything that we do. I recently became aware that Austin has opened up a libertarian shop at apforlibertyshop.com. Now, I'm asking you as a personal favor to me that you never ever visit apforlibertyshop.com. With all of the great Liberty merchandise there, the last thing that we need to do is to get people spreading this message around the country, because then they might start thinking that they don't need government. And that's the last thing that good Democrats like us want. So if you love democracy, like me, and hate freedom, then don't visit AP for Liberty Shop. Like I said, whatever you do, do not visit apforlibertyshop.com. I'm Barack Obama, and I approve this message.
amazing website to boost your business? You're just a click away from 5-star Fiverr talent. Hundreds of freelancer skills like web design. Head to Fiverr.com today and get something started.
So I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me. When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move. So I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never
It is better to settle these matters in the courts than on the streets. And new laws are needed at every level. But law alone cannot make men see right.
Good morning, Rise and Freedom. I'm Austin Peterson. You're watching and listening to the Wake Up America Show at wakeupAmericaShow.com. Nice to see you here today. Sorry about the double audio on the commercials. That's entirely my fault. There's Stephanie right there, my wife. Yes. Sorry, Stephanie and I were having such an interesting debate that I forgot to delete the first commercial and I played the last commercial.
I know, it was spoiling. It really did.
That conversation? Yes. Well, it was an interesting with Colin Kaepernick, right? And talking about his kids and things and these racial issues and you know,
be passionate about that stuff.
I know you are. I know. Because you're a therapist and you care about people's feelings, right? Right?
What? And I know it's real.
Right. What does a number smell like?
Now that's mindfulness.
How does a number make you feel?
We all have a favorite number. My favorite number is 3.
Mine is 14.
Yeah.
FYI, if
so
you ever see the number
feel
14,
a certain way.
If you ever see the number 14, think of me. Think of me fondly. This is awesome. Check this out. Mason the Great got his Ooh Government tank top came in today. Yes.
Did he post a picture?
Not yet. He says, ready to bust out my effing crazy, massive, gigantic biceps. That's hilarious.
Oh my gosh. Wow. That would help us sell.
Yes. And actually, listen, Mason, I have a favor to ask of you, bud. If you wouldn't mind, will you take a picture of you wearing it and write us a review, post the picture? I know this is a lot to ask, and people are like, we ask people to write reviews like for our Calvin the Coolest President book, and they don't always do it.
Sure.
But I need like one more person to write a product review.
Mm-hmm. How can he write a review? How does he do it?
It's easy. So if you go to apforlibertyshop.com and you go to the product page of the product that you bought, take a picture of the product of you wearing it or whatever. You don't have to do the picture. It'd be awesome if you did.
Yeah.
But if you do that and write a review, give us a 5-star review. You can go below the product and down at the bottom there's like 5 stars.
Okay.
You can write a review on the product page. We need just one more for our shop to get included in like all of these listings of like trusted and verified businesses.
Right.
We literally need one more review. Remember when I asked Camellia to write me a review the other day?
Did she write it?
No.
Really?
No.
Camellia, I mean, come on now. You seem like somebody who would write a really good review.
I would think that she would, but she didn't do it.
A few of our products.
She has.
She has some earrings.
And certainly we appreciate her for that.
Yeah.
And we appreciate her contributions. But I don't ask for a whole lot.
Yeah.
Just for you to buy gold from their capital. And Field of Greens and all that stuff, which we'll get to in a minute. But anyways, so do me a favor, if you would, my friend, and head over to the shop and write a nice review on the product that you bought, because that will help us to get listed and we can get out there more. Spread the message of freedom.
I know that I always look at reviews before I buy anything.
I thought it was funny last night when we were talking about the Caucasians shirt. Somebody posted on it when I posted it on Instagram. They said "Go Cox."
Why? What does a Caucasian have to do with Cox?
It's just short for Caucasians.
Oh, Cox, like CAUCS.
Yes, it's the fighting.
Oh, I was thinking the other
CAUCS, right?
Oh,
the fighting Cox.
Okay.
Yes, we do. We do love our Cox.
I was thinking the Cox.
No.
Right, exactly.
We do love our Cox. Here you go, Stephanie. There you go.
Oh, this is my little therapy animal over here.
Yes, nice.
Aww.
Thanks so much for tuning into the Wake Up America show. I'm your host, Austin Peterson. We're glad to have you here on the show. You can text in at what number, Stephanie, nice and slowly?
816.
No.
Oh, no.
What's the text line? Don't give them our actual number.
What is the text line?
573
Oh, 573
319
319
1586. Yes, and don't
Okay.
forget that we are excited to announce that we are giving free shipping now for if you're in the United States. If you're in Canada, then sorry, tough luck.
Oh, okay. So only US gets free shipping.
Only United
Okay.
States gets free shipping. All right, so there you go.
That's really cool, though. I mean,
listen, it took a lot of work.
I usually pick the items that have free shipping because it just makes it more simple for me.
Yes, we've got free shipping.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about free sexy. Free the sexy sexy lunch ladies. This was a story I saw yesterday. I thought to myself, this is interesting. Now, I put up the picture for the fans. Of
Which
Andy
picture?
Roosevelt. It's her mugshot.
Oh, that's the best one.
Yes. So this is a Connecticut lunch lady who allegedly groomed and then sexually abused a teen boy. Now, here's the thing. The kicker in the story shows she was previously cleared by school officials of inappropriate communications with students. So she had been accused before. But now she busted. So she apparently had been there were concerns regarding social media and maintaining appropriate boundaries. Right. So this is the lunch lady. Hold on. Let me kind of scroll up for you guys over here on the chat so you can see. So this is like the good picture of her. You can see right here. She is lunch lady. I never had any lunch ladies that look like this, man. I'll tell you.
See, here's the thing. My mom always packed my lunch, so I really didn't go into the lunch area.
Oh, really? I was a lunch buyer.
I never really talked to those people.
I don't know about what they do these days, but we had like the little the ticket, the puncher, and it would be like you would stick you would have like a 20 or a 10 or a 20 meal ticket thing that you would buy, and then you would punch it, and it would cut off the bottom of the lunch card.
Okay.
And it would go conk, you'd stick it in the machine, and then it would
because your parents would
get your lunch.
prepay.
Yeah, you'd prepay.
Yeah.
You'd bring in the check and you'd pay for your lunch and all that kind of stuff.
I was always envious of the Bosco sticks.
What the hell's a Bosco stick?
Is that just a thing I had?
I've never heard of a Bosco stick.
They were like breadsticks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the breadsticks looked really good.
Yeah, so we're looking at the lovely lunch lady, which honestly, in terms of lunch ladies, I mean, seriously, I got to ask you, did anybody have lunch ladies that look like this growing up? I have no memory of a single lunch lady. Now, here she is. She's not looking so bossy, right? She's not looking so boss right here.
I mean, it is a candid shot, so
yeah, we all look bad on her candid shot. She did manage to kind of pretty herself up for her mugshot, though. I'll say, honestly, because in terms of mugshots, usually they're not necessarily all that hot. Although there is an Instagram account, I don't know if you follow it, called Mugshotties.
No, I don't follow it.
Yeah, it's about it's a mugshot of it's like hot chick mugshots, like girls who are like attractive and what they get, like why they have been arrested and stuff. It's actually a really popular account. But she's messing around. So like this, you were saying last night that it's just like, some of the things, the communications that she was having with her students and stuff were kind of, what were you saying exactly when you were talking about this?
Well, she started sending naked photos to a student, and then he asked her if she sent it by mistake.
Right, yes.
Okay, that should have been indication to her, like maybe I should stop sending naked photos. But then she asked the student to send naked photos to her. I don't know if they actually did, but then she kept sending more photos to him. And then she actually did have sexual interactions. They don't say exactly what they did in her car.
Mm-hmm. The new life update for kids included hot lunch lady. Tolly Owens was a free lunch kid because she was Pole. That's funny. So sorry. We're not trying to laugh at you there. Sorry, Tolly.
Oh, no, I think the free lunch programs are great.
Bosco sticks. So I wish my school lunch lady had looked even remotely like her, says Bert Crash. And Bosco breadsticks are amazing. Never had one of those.
Maybe it's a Michigan thing?
Maybe it was. I don't know.
Midwest thing?
Where are you from, Bert? Let us know. I never had Bosco breadsticks. I went to Raymore Peculiar Middle School and all that kind of stuff.
So here's the thing. I actually had a teacher from my high school who got on the sex offender list for grooming a 14-year-old boy.
Really?
Yes. So the year after I graduated, I was still tutoring for French at my high school, and so I was still very much connected there. And I heard that this, I believe he was a history teacher, he had been put in jail because he was online grooming what he thought was a 14-year-old boy, but it was really a decoy, like a police officer. And he went to go meet this boy, and that's when he was actually taken into custody. Yeah, how freaky. And I saw his mugshot, and it's just like, wow. I used to see this man in school, and he was 47. So it's not like he's this young guy who could be confused for a young guy. Because I do know, when I was in school, at least in high school, I did have a crush on my French teacher. I remember that because he was in his early 20s and I was already, in my late teens. So it's like in terms of age difference, it wasn't that much.
Yeah, we had I won't say hot French teacher, but I will say she was a pretty French teacher. Yes, and there's nothing. I mean, when you take someone who's just pretty and then you have them speaking French, at that point in time, you're kind of like, okay, Mrs. We called her Madame Condiff was her name.
Condiff?
Cundiff.
Oh, wow.
Right. And if you were one of her favored students, then she would kind of talk to you in a little bit more of a, in a Frenchy way, and
My teacher was Monsieur Latarte.
Monsieur Latard?
Latarte. Hi.
Okay, so I totally get Monsieur Latard, but off of that one. But I was going to tell you that our Madame Condiff, if you didn't like her, if you were a bad student, then she would be rude to you. In which case, some of the students would call her Madame Cuntiff.
Oh,
Sorry,
I hope she didn't hear that one. So it's like kids do get very flirty with teachers. I remember the boys in my chemistry class would flirt with our chemistry teacher, who was a cute petite girl. Yeah, so I could see where these connections happen, but still, the adult is responsible. And they need to stop those things.
Caleb Vanderfeld says that we had Bosco sticks here in Central Missouri, Blair Oaks. Damn it, man!
They just didn't call them Bosco sticks. Do you remember having like breadstick type things?
I mean, I don't remember having breadsticks. When I think about bread, by the bread-based foods that we had at lunch lady school, stuff like that, was the turkey cheese roll-ups.
Oh, okay.
Did you ever have a turkey cheese roll-up?
I don't think so. I remember pizza, and I remember fries. That's about it.
I remember when they introduced pizza, for the daily school lunches for us and stuff. It was like one day it was like you would have pizza once a week, and then I remember one day it was either middle school or it was in high school. They're like, okay, pizza every day. And I remember they were like the lunch ladies explaining to us, it's like, you know what, we're treating you like adults. If you want to eat pizza every day as an adult, that's your choice. Because some kids, literally, they would eat nothing else but pizza every single day. And I pretty much never got the pizza. It was just...
I mean, it was really thin from what I saw, and it was kind of rock hard. It wasn't exactly a deep dish.
That's what she said.
I do like hard things.
Doug H says, my brother's quiz bowl coach ended up on the sex offender list. Jeez.
Quiz bowl.
What was quiz bowl? Never heard of it.
It's like trivia. You had different teams, and they had to answer questions.
Yeah. Oh, hey, by the way, we did get a review from our friend Mason.
Oh my gosh, is that the person who bought the Ooh Government shirt, or is that someone else?
I can't remember. He posted the review of him. He got the Smokin' George coin necklace.
Oh, I'm wearing it right now.
Yeah. He got the Smokin' George coin necklace.
Packaging that. I just packaged that the other day.
Yeah.
Him.
That was lovingly shipped out by Stephanie, who we care about.
The little note on there was my handwriting.
The Smokin' George coin necklace. Yeah. So the Smokin' George coin necklace, he's hanging it from his rearview mirror, and he posted the picture of it. That's awesome. That's so cool.
You don't have to just wear it on your. You can put it on other things.
Yeah, you can just make it a little dangly thing. You can.
Christmas ornament.
Yeah, for sure. It makes an awesome gift.
Yeah,
for sure. Because it's George Washington, but he's smoking a substance of unknown origin.
Originally gave it to you as a gift.
Yeah, and
because I thought it was cool.
Mine is special though because mine comes from 1952. So the ones that we send out are just like regular quarters, but the ones that I got, which is the special one, sorry guys, is the 1952, which means it's actually silver.
Yeah, and mine is special too, I think, because it's from 1969.
Oh, there's funny stuff. Mason, we appreciate you. Thank you for writing that review, by the way. We appreciate it. If you have purchased an item from apforlibertyshop.com, please write a review for the item. If you post a picture of it, even better. It says that they're going to attach the verified buyer badge to the web review once they confirm their email.
Okay.
So Mason, I think it'll send you an email asking you to confirm your email. If you wouldn't mind doing that, that'd be great. So now we'll have 10 reviews. And that means that the AP for Liberty shop will get included in product listings for like more websites. So it's kind of like
Great.
trusted shop kind of a deal.
Yeah,
So
that's very helpful. We are always growing.
yep, thank you for that. We appreciate you very much. Nice to see everybody here. If you're just tuning in to the Wake Up America show, I'm Austin Peterson, and my lovely wife Stephanie Peterson is joining me here today.
I'm here with my cock.
And you can get a shirt of the Fighting Cocks, the Caucasians, that is. Yes. Thank you very much for watching and tuning in here today on multiple platforms: YouTube, Facebook, Rumble, Twitch, and many other things that we are live streaming as well. You can send us a text, 573-319-1586. Oh, Elizabeth gave us a review as well. Thank you, Elizabeth. Appreciate that.
Elizabeth has bought a lot of things from our shop.
She's super supportive, and we're very grateful for her.
Is.
Elizabeth Fanning Press, she's an OG.
We even made her a candle special one time.
Yes. Chris Morrill. Yeah, we did, actually. We did. Chris Morrill says, can I leave a review where I claim the Hawaiian shirt cured all my physical ailments and gave me immortality? Absolutely.
Sure.
Absolutely. The funnier the review, honestly, the better. Honestly, if you write something hilarious, like that probably helps our shop even more. Right. So anyways, thank you. And thank you, Liz. We appreciate you very much. All right. Let's get back to the content. Stop talking, stop selling crap. People are like, shut up. Oh, Joe Rogan opened up his own comedy club down in Texas. I want to go so bad. I love Joe Rogan.
Comedian, technically?
Yeah, he is. He is. He wasn't always, but he's been, developing his stand-up for a number of years.
Just know him from Fear Factor.
Well, everybody knows him from Fear Factor, unless they know him only from the podcast. They're too young to watch Fear Fighters. Fear Fighters. I saw Chris's comment on Cockfighters.
My cock doesn't fight.
For sure, for sure. Our friend Aya Katz just joined us in the stream. She says, looking forward to having you two on the live stream tonight at 8:45 p.m. to talk about your book. Yeah. Yeah, we're excited. We're going to talk with Aya Katz tonight on her show about Calvin, the Coolest President, our book.
Yes. Yeah, we'll definitely share out that link later for the YouTube channel that we'll be on.
For sure. So Joe Rogan opened up his own Texas club because he essentially is looking for what he calls kind of a new safe space for the anti-cancel culture crowd.
Oh my
right?
gosh. Okay.
And I mean, he's always kind of spoken out for free speech, and his show's been in the cancel culture crosshairs as well. I was just laughing because when he gave like his first stand-up set at his club, he says, "I'm drunk and on mushrooms in my new club."
Oh my gosh.
He says, "This is as high as I've ever been on stage. I need to connect with this moment." He says, "You can't fire me from my own club, bitch." That's hilarious.
Well, he's a brave man. I don't know if I would be able to perform in front of people if I was on all those substances.
Michael Nip, being an OG, he says, saw Rogan for the first time on News Radio sitcom.
Whoa.
Oh, dude.
What's that?
Okay, so it was a television show back in the early 90s about News Radio, it was called. It was about, I think Kelsey Grammer was in it. I can't remember, but Joe Rogan was a character in it. It was about news radio.
It's fun.
Yeah, it was kind of cool. It's kind of like, WKRP in Cincinnati, things like that. There have been a couple of good television shows about radio, and News Radio was one of them. And then Joe, after that show, no, it was Phil Hartman. That's who was on it. You probably don't remember Phil Hartman. He was a comedian from the early 90s. Unfortunately, he was murdered by his wife.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was a big deal. So
world.
he was on Saturday Night Live. Phil Hartman was from the golden era of like comedy from when I was a kid, the Chris Farley era, the David Spade era, like when Saturday Night Live was fun, Adam Sandler and all that stuff. But Phil Hartman was a fucking hilarious comedian from the early 90s, and he was a genius. And I loved Phil Hartman's comedy. And it was a tragedy. I remember I was 16 years old. I remember where I was when I heard the news about Phil Hartman dying.
What, his wife kill him?
She was a drug addict.
Oh man.
Yeah, and it was kind of like this deal where she was. I think Phil. The allegation, the rumors are that Phil that she had been clean for a while, and the rumor is Andy Dick, who you probably don't know either. He's like that. He's the gay comedian who constantly gets in trouble these days for like sexually assaulting people. Well, anyways, the allegation is that Andy Dick like got Phil Hartman's wife back addicted to cocaine again. Yeah, and so the rumor is that Phil Hartman had threatened to leave his wife because she was addicted to drugs and he was going to take the kids.
So it's like cocaine wife.
Cocaine wife instead of cocaine bear. Yeah. I hope I'm recalling this correctly.
It's horrible.
Yeah, Phil Hartman also did a bunch of Simpsons voice episodes too. Yes, yes. Hi, I'm Troy McClure. You may remember me from such shows as some hilarious show name and hilarious show name, but yeah, he did a lot of Simpsons episodes. So the rumor is that Phil Hartman's wife murdered him because he was going to leave her due to her addiction, and so she took a shotgun and shot him in the chest. Yeah, it was pretty brutal. It's hilarious. I don't know why I remember such vivid details about that. I was literally reading it in the newspaper. I was 16 years old, and I was working at Walmart that summer, and I was in the break room at Walmart, and somebody passed me the newspaper, and it showed, Phil Hartman dead, murdered, blah, blah, blah. Back in the day, you didn't have the internet or cell phones to be able to tell you what was going on in the world. You had to read newspapers and things like that. So it was, kind of funny. But anyway,
It's horrible.
yeah, it was terrible. It was terrible. But Joe Rogan was friends with Phil Hartman, and Phil Hartman kind of mentored Joe.
Okay.
But then, so Joe was doing comedy and doing some funny stuff in television. He was always really jacked, really ripped. That was when he first started martial arts.
Martial arts, yeah.
Yeah. I think he was doing taekwondo for most of his life until he moved on to jiu-jitsu. But Rogan did news radio, then he did Fear Factor. And I remember watching Fear Factor when I was in college.
I love that.
Did you really?
They unleashed the bugs in the tank. They had rats in the tank where the person had to sit there, or they had to eat worms or different.
Was there anything on that show that you think you couldn't eat or couldn't do?
Probably sitting in a tank with what is it? Probably sitting in a tank with something that would be biting me.
You have a problem with snakes? What about spiders? Could you do spiders all over you?
As long as they weren't poisonous.
Well,
if I knew that they couldn't really hurt me.
Yeah, for sure.
I'd sit in there with something that really would not harm my safety.
This is funny. Jacob Champion, he says that it was the #2 news story on the day that Pakistan detonated a nuclear bomb. I remember that story as well. It was a big deal because India and Pakistan were having, I can't believe I remember all this stuff. And Jacob, I can't believe you remember this too. Jacob's got Jacob's brilliant. One of these days I would love to introduce you to Jacob Champion. If you guys don't know Jacob, you need to get to know him. He and I road tripped to a Rand Paul rally in Kentucky.
Okay.
Back in 2013, I think, or something like that. We went to Kentucky. We literally drove from DC to Kentucky to go to a Rand Paul rally or something like that. Yeah. Yeah, so India and Pakistan were having they hate each other, they always have, but they both went nuclear, and so Pakistan joining the nuclear thing. It was a big deal because Pakistan's basically, I won't say it's a terrorist nation per se, but there's a lot of terrorists in that nation. I'm pretty sure that some nuclear weapons in that nation have been lost. So, but yeah, Phil Hartman was the #2 story that day. Tolly Owens says, newspapers, yes, when dinosaurs roamed the earth. Yes.
I remember what I was doing when Princess Diana died. I was sick at home in my bed, and I stayed home from school, and I just remember watching it on TV. It's just amazing how certain things stick in your mind.
For sure. It's kind of like, where were you on 9/11? I was in college. I was sleeping, and my roommate Luke called me out, and the first plane had already hit, and I watched the second plane hit the towers. It was pretty wild, and it was
in middle school.
I mean, and I remember it showed me just how sheltered I was, and probably a lot of Americans were, because growing up in Peculiar, Missouri, going to college in Springfield, Missouri, I had no idea what a Muslim was. I didn't know what a Jew really was. I mean, I knew what a Jew was because I'd read the Bible 6 times, so I knew about Jewish culture from the Bible.
Yeah.
But I didn't know they don't talk about Muslims in the Bible. Right. So you don't know anything about Islam growing up in Missouri, and so you're just I'm just ignorant, right? So I'm like, and of course I don't know anything about Indians either. And I'm talking about the dot, not the feather.
Yeah.
But I remember specifically being seeing Indian people and thinking, are they Muslims? And I guess the question is, some of them, right? But it doesn't matter. We kind of when you're ignorant, you ascribe a race to a religion, right?
If someone looks a certain type of way.
Sure.
Just like with Jewish people, right? If we look a certain way, then you assume they're Jewish. That's why people think Judaism is a race.
We should play a game called Jewish or Chelsea Clinton. Is she Jewish? Or is she just Chelsea Clinton?
Well, Chelsea's definitely not Jewish.
Yeah, no, she's not. But you are, and you look like Chelsea Clinton. So There you go. If you're just tuning into the Wake Up America show, I'm Austin Peterson. I'm speaking to my lovely wife, Stephanie Peterson. Nice to see you there today. Good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you. Newsweek, June 8th, 1998. Nuclear fears India, Pakistan. Phil Hartman, Disney, Mulan. God, I love that movie, Mulan. That was a good one. Yeah, this is a very good one.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the next topic, shall we? Joe Rogan. I think we've we talked about that more than I
Joe
thought.
Rogan, though, is that I wonder who he's going to allow into his comedy club. Are there certain people he's going to keep out?
I doubt it.
Anti-cancel culture club that cancels other people. It's like, that'd be funny.
I would honestly be shocked if somebody's a good enough comedian and they can draw a crowd. I'm sure that they'll probably be invited to Joe Rogan's comedy club. But I really want to go to Texas and go to that comedy club. Not necessarily specifically for that, but I would like to go to that comedy club.
I go to Texas in general. I've never been there.
Never been to Texas?
Never.
Oh. We'll have to go to Texas sometime. Yeah. Stephanie, before we move on to the next topic, which I'm looking forward to discussing with you, this next thing that I would like to talk about is our friends over at Brickhouse Nutrition.
Oh, very cool.
Yes. So Stephanie and I have been enjoying our delicious, healthy Brickhouse Nutrition Field of Greens. So we hadn't heard about this. Like, they reached out to us.
Right.
And we're like, hey, we'd love for you guys to try our product. We'd love for you to talk about it to your audience. And you know, when you're kind of a small YouTuber like I am, like the Wake Up America show, when you're not big, you're kind of just like flattered to be asked. And you just
absolutely.
And you never know what it is that they're going to approach you about, something like that. I get approached to sell all kinds of weird stuff, right?
Yeah.
And so I thought to myself, it's probably not going to be good.
You told me, I was so excited.
You're excited. I was not excited.
Because I used to be a health freak.
So,
I used to eat all of the super health foods because I was a vegetarian too.
For sure. So this is kind of wild. And I'll tell you, this is wild berry. But you're going to open this up. When you get your first can of Field of Greens, which you can get by going to fieldofgreens.com, you get a discount, 15% off if you use the code AP for Liberty. When you smell it, you're going to be like, that smells like grass. Okay? And I'm just being real with you. And you're going to be like, do I really want to drink this? And you're going to think, oh, this is going to be some kind of healthy shake.
Right.
Once you put it in water
yes,
and shake it up, it tastes good.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's like a fruity water.
Yeah. And here's the thing. You're supposed to be getting 6 cups of fruits and vegetables a day. Right?
Definitely don't eat that.
We're not getting that. Okay, you're not doing that. You can, though. And it's got a money-back guarantee because here's the thing.
Oh, really? It does?
Yes.
Wow.
If you buy Field of Greens and you go to the doctor and your doctor hasn't seen improvement, I mean, you know, after at least, a couple of months, if you don't see a health improvement from it, you get your money back.
Really?
Absolutely.
That's
they have a
pretty
money-back guarantee.
So that means it's a win-win situation, no matter what.
Yeah, for sure. It's a win-win because you either get healthy or if you don't, you get your money back. So there's really no risk there.
There you go.
So here's what I want you to do today. Visit fieldofgreens.com. Right? Tell them AP sent you. Use the code AP for Liberty. You'll get 15% off.
So like in the cart when you're checking out, you put in there.
You'll put in the code AP for Liberty. And then if you decide you're like, oh, you know what? I'll just buy like a 3-month supply.
Yeah.
You'll get additional discounts for like a monthly supply.
Really?
Yeah, you get 10% off for the monthly supplies.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, tell them AP sent you. Brickhouse Nutrition. Steffi and I love it. It tastes delicious. It's good for you. It's your 6 servings of fruit and vegetables per day in one delicious drink. So,
I walk around the house drinking it.
Yeah, for sure. All right. So we're going to go take another brief commercial break. This time there won't be double commercials playing at the same time. Sorry about that. And then when we come back, we're going to talk about the habits of highly successful people on the Wake Up America show at wakeupamericashow.com.
Want an engaging website to boost your business? You're just a click away from 5-star Fiverr talent. Hundreds of freelancer skills like web design. Head to Fiverr.com today and get something started.
American conservatism is distinct, like America is distinct from the United Kingdom. American conservatism's roots comes out of the Wild West, out of pioneerism. The difference between American conservatives and European conservatives is that Americans are cowboys. We are that God, guns, gold, and girls. It's wild here. And we should stay that way. We shouldn't allow a European version of conservatism to come and infect us here. We like it wide open spaces here, you know, deep in the heart of Texas and all that.
Hey there, it's your favorite Vice President Joe Biden. I wanted to talk to you today about the Wake Up America show, the best source for all your political news and commentary. But before I get started, let me just make sure I have all my notes in order. Okay, where was I? All right, the Wake Up America show. It's a great way to stay informed and make your voice heard. Boy, what was I saying again? Oh, right. The Wake Up America show. It's important that we all stay engaged and knowledgeable about what's going on in our country and, the thing. But hold on, where was I going with all this? Oh, yeah. The Wake Up America show. It's a fantastic resource. And if you really want to make a difference, man, you can sign up to be a monthly donor at wakeupamericashow.com/support. Now, where was I? Oh, that's right, the Wake Up America show. So if you want to stay woke and support a great cause, head on over to wakeupamericashow.com/support and sign up to be a monthly donor today. And if you're feeling generous, you can even give a donation in my name. Thanks for listening, and keep on keeping on, America. Come on, man.
George. Thank you for watching the Wake Up America show with my dad. Today, I'd like to share with you 3 reasons why you should visit Dad's online store at apforlibertyshop.com. Number 1. You can get exclusive freedom-loving merch designed by AP himself, or me mum, Steffi. Liberty Laura has made some designs as well, and blimey, they are great! Number 2. Most of these products are so wicked that they aren't even allowed to be advertised on Facebook or Instagram. Modern machine guns and a proper keychain. Plus, our Grover Cleveland t-shirt is so spicy apparently that leftists on Facebook specifically banned it from appearing on the website. Number 3. You're supporting liberty lovers just like you. Spend your money where you earn it, and you help me Pops build a community that supports what you believe. Bloody hell! This commercial is running too long. Gotta run. Bye now. Don't forget to visit apforlibertyshop.com. That's apforlibertyshop.com.
Good morning, Rise and Freedom. I'm Austin Peterson. You're watching and listening to the Wake Up America show at wakeupamericashow.com. My lovely wife, Stephanie, joining me here in studio.
Hello.
Nice to see you all there today. We're streaming on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and Rumble. And it's been nice to see that we've been getting a nice big audience over on Rumble these days.
We really have.
I think they've been putting us on the front page, and that's why we've been getting those features. So we've been kind of getting more and more people watching the program over there on Rumble. So thank you very much for that. And nice to see you over on Rumble. We appreciate all of our friends of freedom joining us wherever they like to watch.
Even Twitter, we've been getting a lot of views lately.
Yeah, Twitter has been kind of wild in terms of the number of people watching. We've been getting like 1,000, 2,000 views per show over on Twitter, and that really adds up, everything together. So thank you very much for watching us wherever you watch us. And of course, we like to have a home base for everybody. The Cantina crew is where hangs out on YouTube. So if you want to come and chat with people and interact, we typically have our biggest audience over on YouTube. So we like to have you over there. All right. The news. Oh, habits of highly effective people. Stephanie, we have been busting our ass the last few weeks. I mean, I'm usually a very productive person anyway, but it has been balls to the wall for the last 3 weeks. And it's, I think part of it has to do with the fact that, we've got a new employee, right? And so not only am I trying to train him and get him up to speed on everything, what's funny is I didn't realize how much work I do and how difficult what I do is until you try and teach it to somebody else.
That's right.
And you realize, oh shit, there's a lot of skill and talent and all this stuff that goes into this, right? Not trying to pat myself on the back, but just say, it's been hard to get everything ready because we're going on vacation, right? We're gonna go and so to get ready to go. There are other things that are in preparation for you content wise, so that you don't forget about us while we're in Japan. And we're working on little projects here and there. We've got little secrets going on here and there to try and make sure that you've got some fresh content and that you'll be, you won't disappear and be like, oh well, we don't like Austin anymore.
We don't want you to miss us too much either.
Exactly. So anyways, the last few weeks I've been busting my ass, feeling very highly motivated because, now I'm responsible not just for us, and bringing in income for our own home, but I'm also responsible for his income and his home and all that stuff. Being an employer, it's like, if you've never done it before, it just gives you a completely different frame of reference to look at, right? So I'm working
especially when you have a heart. I mean, some employers, they just don't care.
Sure.
But you care.
Absolutely. And I want, I want to succeed so that I can make us all successful. Rising tide, lift all boats, right? So the AP for Liberty Shop strategy, you've seen a lot more stuff coming out of there because, I want to make sure that Nathan's secure and we can grow. And I'm hoping that by this summer, because usually the 4th of July is very good for us.
Oh, yeah.
My hope,
it's Liberty time.
Yeah, the freedom time, America time. We've got some awesome America flag tennis shoes, which are really cool.
Yes, they looked like ones that I wanted to buy a few years ago from a really famous brand, but I'm like, these are the same shoes basically.
The ones that you get from those other famous brands, they were like 150. Ours aren't even ours are half of that.
Exactly.
Yeah,
nobody would know the difference.
Less than half. So yeah, the American flag sneakers are awesome at apforlibertyshop.com. We've got a whole bunch of awesome shoes.
Yes.
I mean, I made some Murray Rothbard shoes as well. Yeah. So anyways, the habits of highly motivated people. I'm going to go through this list and we're going to talk about some of these habits. And maybe it's like the horoscope. We'll all sort of say, oh, we have these traits. But ask yourself if you really have these traits. The first one on this list, they consistently look for their why, right? Our purpose.
Yes.
Having a reason for doing certain things in your life will always be a strong foundation for keeping yourself upright and chasing your goals. This woman who wrote this list says that she has friends who, despite all of their talents, can be the most talented person in the world.
Oh, yeah.
But they've lost sense of why they're doing the things that they do.
I'd
right?
say most of my clients cannot come up with a why.
Yeah. See, my thing is I'm kind of weird. So I think my why in large part is, I want to provide for you, and I want to provide for Nathan, and I want to build a Liberty business and be successful and be rich, and that'd be great, right? But this is weird, right? And maybe people won't even believe this, but I really love to think about if somebody bought a product from apforlibertyshop.com, what would the conversation be?
Oh, so that's your why.
Yes.
Is what kind of chatter are you creating?
Yes, because I like to think, okay, let's say somebody buys the Caucasian shirt that's over there, right? Maybe somebody's going to be offended, but I'll tell you, offending people right away, if you aren't hateful, you can actually get people break people out of their sort of their programming, their binary, their left-right thinking, and get them to sort of have a conversation and think about things from a different way. So I like to think my why is, why am I making this? Yeah, I'm making money. Yeah, doing those things that I said. My why is to spark conversations. And that's why I'm like being a talk show host, is because I love to start conversations and get people thinking. And sometimes I like to stir the pot, you know.
Really love seeing reactions from others.
I do. I kind of get off on that for sure. My brother has called me like a gadfly, right? Or like a fly in the ointment, if you will. Or some people might say turd in the punch bowl.
Gosh.
Yes, but I do like to stir the pots. Camellia knows this about me. Like, you know, she's called me what, a cad, or what was it? Not there was a word that she used to reference me one time, but I can't remember what it is. Hopefully, she will be in the chat and she'll tell us.
Yeah. I always encourage people every single day. Ask yourself, what is my purpose for just today?
What's your purpose for today, Stephanie?
What is my purpose for today in particular? It is to, gosh, because I'm doing so much today. I guess the overall theme of today is just to give back, because today I'm performing in front of an audience and hopefully making people happy and making them think. I'm going to be seeing a client for therapy, so I'm going to be giving back in that way. So I would say my purpose for today is just to give back to people.
So what's your purpose today? If you're tuning into the Wake Up America show, I'd love to hear from you. What is your purpose? What is it that motivates you? I'd love to hear your thoughts. You can send us a text at what? 573 319 1586. Yes.
573-319-1586.
Yes. And Elizabeth Fanning Press just sent us a picture of her review. And this new app that we have for the reviews, it shows underneath the "Call the Cops, I Don't Give a Fuck" hat. And it shows 5 stars underneath the hat on the product listing. That's cool. Thank you, Liz. That's awesome. Yeah, we've been asking people to write reviews. I guess Chris Morrill wrote one too. Thank you very much. We're still waiting on Camelia's review, though. Whatever.
I know. I'm not sure. Camellia, you love writing.
She does love writing, for sure, but she's very busy lately too. It's during the season. Like right now is like the legislature's in session. Well, now they've got spring break. So, anyways. So we're talking about habits of highly motivated people. Let's move on to the next one. Ask yourself, why? What's your purpose for why are you doing what you're doing? Number 2 is planning ahead.
Planning ahead.
And we are all about that. You and me.
Planner.
You are more than I am, even. You are even more than I am. It's kind of like a way to set the mood, dictate a mindset, right? So, like, what's that statement? If you fail to plan, then you plan to fail.
Yes.
Right. And like, which is not to say that necessarily you're always going to follow through with that exact plan. Because it's like, remember that Mike Tyson quote when we've been training karate, I told you about is everybody has a plan until they get punched in the face.
Right.
That you do all this training.
You can only plan so much, and then life is just going to happen anyway.
Exactly.
It's true.
Yeah, it's like we know kind of what we're going to do in Japan, but we don't know everything. If we had signed up for one of those damn tours, we would
know everything.
You would know absolutely everything you were going to do at every minute.
Also might be more anxious because then we'd have to be on time for every little thing.
See, I hate that. Right.
Yes.
If we want to sleep in on one morning in Tokyo a little bit, then that should be our prerogative, right? So that's fine. But in terms of planning ahead, I think that is, you got to have a plan.
Yeah.
And if the plan goes out the window, fine, but have a plan anyway, right?
I always like to plan because it gives me something to look forward to. I always keep a paper planner.
Yes.
I love it. And it's a 2-year one. So I can always look ahead and be like, where will my life be?
Yes. Chris Morrill wrote a review for his Wake Up America show Hawaiian shirt.
Oh, thank you.
He says he answered the clarion call of the colorful cock and was not disappointed.
Gosh, that's wonderful.
This shirt changed my life.
Oh, really?
When wearing this shirt, I am temporarily granted all of Superman's powers.
Aww.
It also cured all my physical ailments, made me smarter, and converted all my body fat to pure muscle. And it even made me slightly more handsome. There wasn't much room for improvement in that category.
We're going to turn into an herbal company.
I'm loving it. It's
say that our clothes help you in terms of your soul and your health.
Honestly, that would probably work, but
yes,
because people really do. They are kind of
they're energizing clothing.
He continues on and says, it somehow made me even more irresistible to women than I already was. It gave me extra energy, more stamina, a few extra inches where it counts.
Whoa.
Wink, wink.
Whoa.
And longevity. In fact, I fear that I may now be immortal to this amazing shirt, which I think will probably be quite a drag after the first couple centuries. So thanks for nothing, AP. 5 stars. would buy again. Very funny. Thank you, Chris.
It sounds like it literally changed his life and possibly his wife's life too.
Possibly, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, for a few extra inches where it counts, for sure, for sure. It says under there, it says we will attach the verified buyer badge once he or she confirms his email because we found an order from Chris Morrill. This
It
is a
keeps
new,
saying that, doesn't
yeah,
it?
it's a new app for us.
Mhm.
So if it asks you to confirm your email, please do, so that way we can get that
Right.
verified buyer badge. Should be good.
It's like on Amazon when
Yeah.
there's the verified badges.
Yeah,
Yep.
for sure. Anyways, we're not going to sell your information to a third party.
Yeah.
We will not. We will not. We will not. We will not. Okay. Habits of highly motivated people. Number 3, they move around.
They move around.
Being motivated is a mindset, but it doesn't stop at like mind games and mind control. Research has proven that moving around or having regular exercise improves an individual's mood. Steffi, what were we just saying the other night after karate?
We have to keep exercising.
Have
It
to keep
helps the
moving.
brain.
Yes,
It,
because
it literally helps with focus for
Yeah.
ADHD,
What was
anxiety,
it?
depression.
Was it like literally last night when we were talking about this, and I was like, you were talking about the difference between your mind and your body or something like that, and how like what you do in your body affects your mind, and I was like,
Very
your
much.
mind is your body.
Very much.
You know, so like if you're not exercising and stuff like that, and your mind is feeling sluggish and stuff like that, you're not sleeping very well, you gotta move.
Yeah, I was reading if you eat certain foods like candy and high fructose corn syrup, all that crap, if you eat that, it's going to affect your mind.
Mm-hmm.
So it really is. Everything you do to this body affects up here.
Absolutely. It's all an organism. It's organic, and you have got to take care of it. So I think that makes sense. Let's continue on here. The next habit of highly motivated people, they always look at every possibility. Now, this is something that I think I'm good at, right? Whereas maybe planning ahead is not necessarily my strongest point, but they always look at every possibility. Motivation causes optimism, and I'm a very optimistic person. But optimism is really about finding silver linings in clouds, right? If something bad happens, like I'm going to find the good in this situation and I'm going to learn from it for next time, right? One of the things that I'm not so good at perhaps is like taking breaks, right?
Mhm.
Because you get a long-term benefit from it. Although I do take naps.
Yeah.
So that counts.
Yeah.
Right? So there's a long-term value there because I'll have energy for the rest of the day
Right.
to continue through our work cycle or what have you, right? So, but that's, you got to plan ahead because I can't take a nap right before karate because we got to have time to get ready and I've got to write the show for the next day. I mean,
Right.
the people think that like you just fart and the show appears out of nowhere.
It does not.
It does not happen like that. There's a lot of work that goes into making this show every day, plus running AP for Liberty Shop, plus running all the blogs and all the other stuff.
Right.
Values, right? So developing values that count. Right. Cultivating your values instead of looking what other people don't have. I think that is a big problem because most people, it's easy to criticize with the values that other people don't have. But what values do you have?
Exactly.
Can you answer that? I mean, what do you believe in? I mean, what's a value that you have, Stephanie?
I value people and being nice to people. I value
Well,
family.
kindness.
Yep. I value family.
Right.
So I'm connected to them.
Mhm.
I value hard work
Mhm.
very much.
Mm-hmm.
What else do I value?
Good questions, right?
I value honesty.
Yes, you do. I know that that's a big one for you. Honesty, right? What are some of your values? Love to hear from you. Send us a text 573-319-1586. That's 573-319-1586. We'd love to hear from you this morning on what's going on with you and what some of your values are. We're talking about the habits of highly motivated people. Let's continue on here. Next habit of highly motivated people, they surround themselves with catalysts.
Energy is contagious. So
Yes.
if you're around Debbie Downers, you're going to be a Debbie Downer.
Oh, it's so true.
Mhm.
Right? Like people are contagious, right? So it's important that you surround yourself with highly motivated people that will enable your path to success.
Say that you have a lot of friends that you think are really positive, smart people because they lift you up.
Well, think about the men who were in our wedding. Think about that. Like you didn't get to know them as well as I have known them. But I mean, Vince,
He's a near genius.
he is a genius.
Yes.
He is a literal rocket scientist. He's a PhD.
Yep.
He's a lawyer,
Mhm.
a patent attorney, and he's an inventor.
Yeah, now a scuba diver.
And now a scuba diver, right, with us, right?
Yeah.
So we went scuba diving with him and Mark, right? Mark is a brilliant video producer and entrepreneur, and a libertarian. Joe is, I guess you might call him a bon vivant. You know, he's more of a trust fund baby, but he's still brilliant. And Joe, I learned a lot from Joe, and Joe does work, and he works at the American Legislative Exchange Council, but he's kind of like the epitome of like the blue-blooded East Coast, you know, Delawarean. His beach house is right next door to Joe Biden's beach house.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
They had like some deal with like Secret Service or something like that, where they're like watching his house. But Joe's a brilliant guy too.
Yeah.
You know, all the men.
And he has big dreams. I mean, he
Yes.
does a lot of stuff. He experiences things. So when you're around people like that, it makes you want to experience things.
Oh, exactly. Yeah. So like I see, you know, when I would go visit Joe's beach house with him, I see that and I'm kind of like, you know, and not just jealousy or envy, but like I feel like I want to try and get there. You know what I mean? Like it would be great to, you know, I feel motivated, right, by Joe. I'm not jealous of Joe, but I feel motivated to try and like, you know, live that kind of a lifestyle, you know?
Actually talk about that a lot because people say, "Oh, I'm jealous of this person because they have all these things." And I say, channel that jealous energy into admiration. Admire that person and let them inspire you.
Camellia just listed one of her values, which I really like. She says that I value people who aren't afraid to be blunt with me and make me better by challenging me,
Yes.
and that I can
She
learn
does
from.
love that. Yes.
She says, though, you can learn from almost everyone. Almost. Yes. Very true. Very true. Very true.
Because you can even learn from the homeless man on the street. Seriously.
They always gather feedback. And I've been honestly wondering, like, people, if I could get some feedback on, like, the apforlibertyshop.com website. Like, I would honestly be curious, like, how easy is it to use?
Right.
You know, how attractive is it to you? I would love some feedback on that. But that's a habit of highly motivated people.
People like to give feedback.
They do.
To give me feedback, that's for sure.
Oh, trust me, I get feedback even when I don't ask for it.
Yes.
Honestly. So I would say that, you know, in terms of feedback, you know, asking for feedback is a good example of something that is for highly motivated people.
It's funny because people are always motivated to tell you what's wrong with you, but they're never motivated to work on themselves.
Right.
It's really interesting.
Let's see. So the next habit of highly motivated people, they get out of their comfort zones. We talk about this a lot.
Yeah.
Tell me about getting out of your comfort zone, Steffi, because I know you and I've gotten you out of your comfort zone a little bit.
So
We were doing this the other night, weren't we?
yeah, because before I met you, I was in my safe space. I was just doing what was comfortable. But you, again, inspired me to get out of my shell. I mean, with your campaign, that was the first time I got such practice with speaking on the phone, speaking on camera, being visible on social media. So that was me getting out of my social anxiety bubble. And then now in life, I mean, I became a scuba diver. I had a fear of swimming and water before that. I'm no longer a vegetarian. You got me out of that bubble. I now eat meat and I'm happy about it. And so I think you help people really question their values and their ideas. And that's what you did for me. And so I think I was able to explore myself, and in doing so, I really found my true self by doing that.
I love that. That's really nice.
Yeah.
Everything I value is either illegal, immoral, or fattening, says Robbie. Good morning, Robbie.
Yes,
Nice to
those
see
things do tend to motivate people.
For sure.
The pleasures of life.
Number 9, habits of highly motivated people. They set compelling goals.
Yes.
Yes. I want to go to Japan. I want to get there. We're going to do all this kind of stuff. I want to build a successful online business. I want to build a successful talk show, a podcast, right? I want to do all this. I want to hire an employee. I want to spread the message of economic freedom and personal liberty, you know, compelling goals. I mean, isn't this a compelling goal, right? To have a successful podcast, right? Like to have a successful online merchandise shop and we have a goal. We want to have a family this year. We want to start a family.
That's right.
These are compelling goals, right?
That's right.
I mean, some people say, you know, settling for less is okay, and maybe that is right if that's genuinely what you want.
Right.
But like, if you really habits of highly motivated people, one big one is setting compelling goals.
Yeah.
Right.
I always say just set small goals, because sometimes setting a big goal that's not measurable, like I want to be successful, that is so overwhelming. And then people end up paralyzed and unable to do anything because they're like, how am I going to be successful? So just make a goal. I always say, what is one behavior or action you can do today that can get you closer to that goal?
That's a good one. And then, of course, you got to kind of track it, right?
Yes.
So you have to track your goals and you have to figure out, how far along are you, right? So, I have goals for the shop, right, that I want to hit. And, we're on track, right? We were looking at the analytics last night. We're not, we need to probably 3 times the amount of volume in terms of sales that we're doing right now. But, I'm doing everything I can. I mean, literally,
You literally are.
doing everything. Stephanie sees me behind the scenes. I'm like a rat on a hamster on a wheel.
I know, because I get all the notifications on my phone. So I'm like, what is he doing?
Yeah, I'm doing everything I can to try and make this shop as successful as possible. It's hard, advertising, talking to people. It's funny because we actually, a lot of times, a lot of our sales come from like somebody who just like reaches out to us and says, hey, do you have this or can you do this? And we will literally make it for you.
We do custom all the time.
Yeah, somebody contacted me the other day for a taxation is theft, but like in the style of live, laugh, love.
I really like it. I made it into a canvas.
So it's funny. Yeah, you made it in a canvas. It's funny because like I think we'll probably only sell that one thing.
I would buy the canvas, honestly.
Yeah, well, I think we'll probably only sell that one thing. But the guy who reached out to me, he was like, I want this. And I sat down, I spent like, 30, 40 minutes and put it together for him. And now look, there it is. Live, laugh, love.
Cute.
Taxation is theft. He had his dad, he said, was a lawyer and wanted to have it in his office.
Okay.
So it's kind of like, the funny thing about this sign is that if you bought it and put it up, most people probably would just glance at it and not think about it.
Because it looks so peaceful.
It looks like the kind of thing with people who put these like live, laugh, love signs in their house, whatever. It looks like the kind of thing that you would just like be like, some beautiful, stupid phrase that means nothing. This is not a phrase that means something. If somebody reads that, they would go, what does that say? You know what I mean? So yeah, so I made that custom for him, and I think that's probably the only one we'll sell, but who knows? Who knows?
Oh, I hope not. And I made
We'll
a
see.
Calvin Coolidge shirt for somebody who had a special request.
Oh yeah, somebody wanted the Calvin Coolidge
Oh,
shirt.
and leggings. Somebody had a request for Don't Tread on Me leggings.
Was it Don't Tread on Me leggings or Make Taxation Theft? Or what was it? Taxation is Theft leggings. I can't remember.
Taxation is theft leggings.
Yeah. Number 11, habit of highly motivated people. They try again.
Yes, get back up on that horse.
For sure. I was a little concerned at the end of like last year when like the sales for the shop had kind of started to crater.
Right.
And I was like, oh no, I'm failing, blah, blah, blah. But I was also spending every minute I had building this show, producing commercials for this show, making this show as often as possible. So I just couldn't juggle it. I couldn't juggle it. So, but then like when, this year started to hit and we started getting some sponsors and things like that, I was like, okay, now I can kind of spend more time, managing the shop and building it back up. So things are going well. We're doing it. Things are on the right track. So, if you fail, you try again, right?
You have 2 choices. 1, don't try, or 2, try.
Yeah, for sure. Michael Nipp wrote a review of his product, Ooh Government shirt. He got a new government. He says, the government sucks. So this comfortable t-shirt can be worn as a badge of honor. When I wear it, I feel invincible. The government will become weak and useless the more people buy this shirt. I love it, Michael. You're hilarious.
Really great writers in our community.
We do. The fact that you guys write these hilarious reviews, by the way, is good. It's definitely gonna set us apart from other shops.
They're the most creative reviews I've read.
Sure. I'm highly motivated. My wife is highly motivated. We are highly motivated people. I hope that our show, the Wake Up America show, makes you motivated.
Is it done?
Did you hear the music?
Oh my gosh. That music, it kind of makes me sad.
I know. I'm sorry.
I'm just going to have to hug my cock.
You got to hug your cock as closely as
Self-soothe.
possible.
It's really comforting.
Yes.
Yeah.
Chris Morrill says that's also a sign of delusional people. Very funny, Chris.
What is a sign of delusional people? People who try again? Well,
people who fail, yeah, and it's like at some point you need to just give up.
Okay, yeah. Sometimes I did wonder that in the Libertarian Party when people kept running for campaigns over and over again. I'm like,
maybe it's just time to go be a Republican.
But get back on that horse.
Do whatever you want to do.
Screw what people
It's
say.
your life. It's
That's
now or
right.
never. I don't want to live forever.
Don't have regrets.
I just want to
regret
live
what you
while
don't
I'm
do.
alive.
Yes.
Because it's your life. All right. So check it out, apforlibertyshop.com. Stephanie, well, let's ask our friends to go visit the shop, browse around.
ap4libertyshop.com.
Yeah, check it out right now.
Free shipping.
Yes. So we watched this video last night about like the psychology.
Yeah.
We want you to know like how like what it makes us feel like when you. Here's the thing. Even if you don't buy anything, when you go over to the shop, we see in the analytics that somebody is there. That makes us feel a certain way.
Austin's like, someone has a card open.
Someone has a card open, yeah.
And then we're like on edge until
For
anything
sure.
happens. And then all of a sudden he has a cha-ching on his phone. He's like, cha-ching. And I get the notice before he gets the notice.
We shout at each other from across the house.
Yeah.
When we hear the cha-ching, and then Stephanie's like, what was it? What did they buy? Blah, blah, blah. And it's just like,
and we all go check.
And I'll be honest, it only happens maybe like 4 or 5 times a day, but like those are the sweetest moments of our life.
And
right?
I think in our minds, we're calculating, okay, which thing did I make? Which thing did you make? You know, and we try to say, oh yeah, that's the thing you made. Good job. And we like, you know, congratulate each other. Nice job on that.
Yeah.
You made it so well.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Don't forget, if you're a monthly subscriber, you get 20% off of the shop. So make sure that you do that. But here's the thing. You know what's
Wait, what do you get 20% off on the shop?
Everything.
For what?
20% discount on the shop if you're a monthly subscriber.
Oh, if you're a monthly subscriber.
Right. And if you don't have your code, let me know. I will make sure to send it to you. Just DM me. You can hit me up on any of my platforms here, and I'll respond.
Yeah.
Typically, Twitter's the easiest and fastest, usually, or Instagram or whatever.
Okay.
And I'll give you the code in case you've forgotten it or whatever. It's been a while. But yeah, go over to apforlibertyshop.com. When you wear our products, they're going to make you feel more playful.
Apparently.
More fun. So like here's the thing. A lot of people, like, some people were making fun of my shirts for being like, oh, these shirts are gay, blah, blah, all that kind of stuff like that. But, like, I'm having fun.
Yeah.
Right? Like, so imagine wearing this shirt, the Caucasian shirt, how much fun you're going to have.
Oh my gosh.
I mean,
yes.
you know, and if you ask yourself, like, I need a little excitement in my life, our products are going to do it for you.
Yeah, talk about getting outside your bubble.
For sure.
Wear our shirts to get out of your comfort zone.
So do me a favor. I see there's like about 30, 40 people watching the show right now.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, so even if you don't buy something, what I'd like to ask you to do, go to the shop right now the show's over. Browse it. I just want to get you used to seeing how the site works.
Oh, it looks so pretty.
Yeah, and if
it's updating.
If there's a problem, I'm asking you for feedback. I'm a motivated person. If there's a problem or something you don't like, contact me. Let me know.
Oh yeah.
But here's the thing. I promise you that if you buy something from the shop, it's going to make you feel different when you wear it around.
It adds inches.
It adds inches, apparently,
Yeah.
Chris Morrill. Go to apforlibertyshop.com right now. Have a great weekend. Get yourself some awesome AP for Liberty merch, and we'll see you on Monday.
There's a way to get the ladies for the libertarian guys.
That's right. On the Wake Up America show at wakeupAmericaShow.com.
Want an engaging web?
I like shooting things, but whenever I can't shoot something, I like to cut things. My life isn't all about shooting and stabbing and cutting, though. Sometimes I have to do actual work, but when I work, I still like to have fun. And there's nothing less fun than trying to cut with a crappy knife. Thankfully, from the ancient sect of Christian knights, who also loved cutting and stabbing, comes a new implement that has received my personal blessing, the Templar knife. Like the ancient sword of Excalibur, you don't choose a Templar knife, it chooses you. You just decide what kind you want on the website first, however, and then order it online, and then it chooses you. The Templar knife comes in a variety of shapes shapes. As a man of culture and taste, I have decided I will never use a terrible knife again. And thanks to the inspiration provided by this excellent product, I have decided to launch a new crusade against anyone using less than superior knives. Join me, brothers and sisters, by visiting uppercuttactical.com/pages/Templar-knives. That's a lot of slashes. For that, you'll need a Templar knife. For 10% off, use code AP for Liberty and join me in a quest for glory, for liberty, for Christendom, for the Templar knife. Get yours today. Fire.
Hello, this is Barack Obama, and let me tell you why Austin Peterson stinks, and you should never pay attention to anything that he has to say. First of all, he's a libertarian, and we all know libertarians are idiots. They don't realize how important government is to everything that we do. I recently became aware that Austin has opened up a libertarian shop at apforlibertyshop.com. Now, I'm asking you as a personal favor to me that you never ever visit apforlibertyshop.com. With all of the great Liberty merchandise there, the last thing that we need to do is to get people spreading this message around the country, because then they might start thinking that they don't need government. And that's the last thing that good Democrats like us want. So if you love democracy, like me, and hate freedom, then don't visit AP for Liberty Shop. Like I said, whatever you do, do not visit apforlibertyshop.com. I'm Barack Obama, and I approve this message.
Want an engaging website to boost your business? You're just a click away from 5-star Fiverr talent. Hundreds of freelancer skills like web design. Head to Fiverr.com today and get something started.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move. So I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
I would remind you that extremism in the defense of liberty is no vice.
It is better to settle these matters in the courts than on the streets, and new laws are needed at every level. But law alone cannot make men see right.